Breathe on three! What's going on, friends? Logan Myerz here for Cinephellas.com, back doing another horror movie review. The next film I'm going to be talking about was a limited release. I'm talking about Rob Zombie's brand new film, 3 from Hell.
The search for the fugitives known as the Devil's Rejects resulted in a violent clash with police.
So if you guys are familiar with Rob Zombie's work, I'm a huge fan of the first few movies he did, the first Halloween as well. Really a huge fan of House of a Thousand Corpses. I remember when that came out, seeing that in theater like 5 times. And Devil's Rejects coming out and seeing that a bunch of times. Just loving these characters, this demented and sadistic world that Zombie creates with the Firefly family, you know, introducing Bill Moseley as Otis, Baby, played by his wife, Sheri Zombie. Probably the most famous character out of the movies, Captain Spaulding, played by Sid Haig. Huge fan of his. Oops, wrong arm. Tattoo on my arm, Captain Spaulding. Actually met the guy, my wife and I. He was a really super cool guy. And heard about the recent accident. He was in the hospital, so hopefully everything works out for Sid Haig. We send our love to him and his family. So 3 from Hell is the 3rd installment, I guess, in the Firefly franchise, the saga, I guess you can call it. So at the end of Devil's Rejects, we thought these characters were dead. What happens to them? They took about 20, 30 bullets apiece. How could they survive? Start up in the film 3 from Hell, we see these characters and they kind of dive into, you know, what happens to these characters. I don't want to say too much or spoil too much, but how these characters are around. And you know, they're locked up, and we saw the teaser trailer. Zombie released a few teasers about this film. It was basically just revisiting the first 2 films, House of a Thousand and Devil's Rejects, but we got a little glimpse of Otis. He has like a beard. You see Baby. She has like an Indian headdress on, bow and arrow. So you're kind of thinking to yourself, what the fuck is going on? So early on in the film, we get introduced to these characters, where they're at. One particular character in the film early on, I didn't like what they did with him. So off the bat, it wasn't a great setup for me. And this film is a lot different, filmed a lot differently than the first 2 films. It's more like a documentary style approach to 3 from Hell, the way that it's filmed, a lot of interviews and things like that, being like prison, and you have like these cops. You know, with the Firefly family returning, we're going to be in for some good kills, some good comedy, some great, you know, one-liners and scenes like that. You know, Otis, played by Bill Moseley, one of my favorite actors in the horror genre. So many legendary performances over the years, and I really love him in the role of Otis. This guy is a person you don't want to fuck with. If you come across him, you're pretty much dead. And the things he likes to do, like torturing people and things like that, and the way he kills people, it was always top notch in the first 2 films. And this time around, he definitely brings his A game again. He's one of the better characters in the film. And then his young sister, Baby, played by Sheri Zombie, she wasn't as over the top as the first 2 films. She still has that, you know, menacing laugh. In this film, they introduce Richard Brake's character. He's like the brother of the family. He's along for the ride. He's really great. He's a really great actor. He's been in some zombie films as well. He's 31. He was really good in that, one of the better parts of the film. But he's really good in this role, you know, being with the Fireflies and then on this road trip and coming across all this crazy shit and people getting in their path, and you know it's not going to end well for innocent people if they come across the Firefly family. And things get pretty interesting when the Firefly gang come across a group of people down south. They come across this character, Francisca Mendoza Chavez, played by my man Emilio Rivera from Sons of Anarchy, and then Mayans MC, that's now on FX. And a really excellent show. Really cool interview I just had with him. It's right up here on our YouTube channel on the last podcast that I did. I interviewed him about this film, playing this character, working with Rob Zombie, the cast. If you guys haven't checked that out, I'll put a little link up here to my interview with my man, Emilio Rivera. So he was really great in this role. He was kind of the badass. He's related to somebody that the Fireflies took out, so that's like his connection in the movie. And there's a really great battle scene between his crew and the Fireflies at the end of the movie. And his crew, the Black Satans, you know, battling Otis, Baby, and Winslow. You know, it's not going to end well. There's going to be a lot of bloodshed, a lot of gore. in typical Rob Zombie fashion. Some honorable mentions in the film as well, you know, no strangers to the Rob Zombie universe. We have Dee Wallace, she kind of plays like a cop in the prison. And Jeff Daniel Phillips also returns, he plays the warden in the movie, and he kind of faces off against the Firefly family. He was really good in this role. One of my favorite characters in the film, Mr. Baggy Britches, played by Clint Howard. I know they kind of hinted at this in some of the teasers and some of the images released online, like him playing a clown. It's really funny when he comes across the Fireflies and what exactly happens to his character is one of my favorites for sure. Overall, I was really excited to check out 3 from Hell, Rob Zombie's, I guess, 3rd installment in the Firefly saga. And I'll say it was probably my least favorite one of the 3 films. Some of the reasons, the way it was shot, the documentary style, I didn't really care for. And this film felt like nothing like the first 2 movies. There was something missing in this movie I can't put my finger on. It just really didn't keep me on the edge of my seat and really kept me involved like the first 2 films. I didn't really care as much about these characters either. I thought Richard Brake, Bill Moseley playing Otis, I really cared about them, but even Baby's character kind of took a back seat, it felt like. And she wasn't as menacing or scary this time around either. She had a great laugh, but I just didn't buy into her character. But with all Rob Zombie movies, you know there's going to be a lot of great kill scenes, a lot of gore, a lot of, you know, cut scenes. The imagery is really raw and in your face, and there's a lot of that in the films. And other aspects of the film, some of the story, some of the pacing just didn't work for me as well. And I felt a little underwhelmed, you know, finishing this movie. There were some great aspects to it, a lot of cool kill scenes, seeing what happens to these characters, this journey they go on, the people they come across. I was expecting, I guess, a lot more from these characters, and one in particular character that didn't really have much in the film. You know, they could have ended it with The Devil's Rejects. I like the way they ended that film. I don't think we necessarily needed this film. Believe me, I love seeing these characters. I love the Fireflies. They're one of my favorite families, but just a lot of it fell flat for me, and it just, something was off about it, and I think they just could have ended this with the last film. So overall, I'm going to give Rob Zombie's brand new film, 3 from Hell, a 3 out of 5 zombie hair pieces. Did you guys get a chance to see the new Rob Zombie film, 3 from Hell? It was only playing select theaters for 3 nights. What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe. This is Logan Myerz signing out with the Firefly Family. Until the next movie review. Cheers!